Let's move on to this. We have some updates from Las Vegas. Two things have happened within the last 24 hours that have caught our attention. First, this. Last night, the Ballys Corporation, which runs the Tropicana Hotel in Las Vegas, they put out a memo to their employees last night, and of course, it got leaked on Twitter. The FAQ format answered a few questions, and here's some of the excerpts. Quote, "There are still significant hurdles that need to be achieved and many details to be ironed out," end quote, about the A's new ballpark project there. Quote, "We anticipate that the business, the Tropicana Hotel, will remain open for the next 18 to 24 months before closing to begin development." So they're suggesting that a new ballpark wouldn't even be in motion for 18 to 24 months. We go on with quotes here. "Upon an agreement to fully redevelop the property, the entire business would close and not operate with a phased approach." There's also the question of, will I lose my job for Tropicana employees? Quite simply, they said yes. Also this, quote, "A decision is expected before the end of the current legislative session, which ends on June 5th. End quote. So all of that leaked and went public last night. Well, this morning, the Ballys Corporation, they acknowledged that first memo. They also kind of apologized for, quote, "jumping the gun." And then they put out a new FAQ, which read a little bit differently. It has a lot less detail, saying things like this, quote, "Plans are in the very preliminary stages and not finalized for a ballpark. We don't know what the impact is on Tropicana Las Vegas operations at this time," end quote. Also this, quote, "If we need to close, employees will have an opportunity to find employment across the Bally's portfolio." And also this, quote, "Bally's has agreed with terms with the Oakland A's, which paves the way for possible future development of a ballpark," end quote. You're looking at the Tropicana Hotel site right there, and all of this is just interesting because the first FAQ was so straightforward, and it does seem like a certain amount of backtracking took place, whether that's strategic, whether somebody literally did just get too far ahead of themselves, but there were a lot of details, and then all of a sudden not a lot of details regarding the A's ballpark plans and process. And obviously the A's have not talked much publicly about where they're at with this new ballpark project, but Bally's kind of laid out that first piece of information for us. There's also still a bit of question on when language will be presented, when a bill will be presented to the legislators in Nevada. This comes to us from Jacqueline Schultz. She is a reporter at TV station Fox 5 in Las Vegas, and this was just a couple hours ago. "I'm told by a staff member in the executive branch of the Nevada legislature that the ballpark bill, is being tweaked. There's a possibility about a special session because so much other legislation hasn't been dealt with." Well, as you know, the A's are seeking $395 million of public funding for this project. And to get that, they need an assembly bill to pass. And to get that, they need to actually submit the request, which still hasn't happened. It was supposed to take place yesterday, and then today, and now there's some speculation that because some surveys and research are happening behind the scenes that it may not happen until next week. Well, that all being established, there is a huge time crunch to get this bill and the language for it even submitted. 10 days left before everything has to be sent in to Nevada legislators, and then their session ends officially on the 5th of June. And just going back to that idea of special sessions, they are not something that anybody in Nevada wants. They're costly to the public. They're also not politically friendly. Governor Joe Lombardo just took office back in January. That is not something a couple months into his term he wants to do for a lot of different levels. So the time crunch on all of this is very real.